All right. I'm going live. This is unannounced. Just going live. Everybody's going live right now. I got to go live too. What can I say? What's happening? Hello? Hello? Hello, hello? Hi. Yes. Welcome. Welcome. Yep, I'm live. I just felt like going live. No announcement, just pure spontaneity. Is that okay with you guys? All right. Cool. So, yeah, I want to try to do this more often. I'm actually supposed to be working on some stuff. There's some cool, unexpected collaborations coming. And, you know, if they see this, I may get in trouble. So it's not going to be too long. But I'm just, hey, Victoria. Man, you should be here playing keyboards. Yeah, anyway, so I'm so far I've done a couple of these, and sometimes I announce them, sometimes it's just spontaneous. This is spontaneous. I'm just warming up to work on the stuff that I'm supposed to be working on. I should not be doing this. But yeah, I don't know, kind of feeling in a mood. So I'm going to share a little bit for you. And then this is going to be a quick jam over a tune. I've posted myself jamming to this song before. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll take a few questions. I know there's going to be questions about the album that's coming out tomorrow. I'm not going to play that stuff. You know, I need the band with me to do that stuff. So the reason the color keeps changing is my TV. The news is on in the background. It probably shouldn't be, but it is. Anyway, so I'm warming up. If you noticed my last post before today, I was transcribing a John Scofield tune, a very fast one. So what I'm doing now is I'm jamming. I sometimes warm up to this song. This is also John Scofield. The other song wasn't a John Scofield tune, by the way. It was a Joe Henderson tune that John Scofield played on. But this one is a John Scofield tune, and it's slower and funkier. And what I was doing for my warm-up was just taking some of those ideas from the faster John Scofield licks and putting them to this. And then I also decided to do a more of like a heavy sound. This is more of the sound that I use for the metal stuff. Right, so it sounds nothing like what's on the recording. But I was having fun with it, and it's kind of interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play along with it. I'm going to sneak in some of those licks that I transcribed the other day, but I'm also going to sneak in some other stuff, some quotes that some of you may recognize. And yeah, let's just have some fun, and then I'll take a few questions after. And again, this is spontaneous, not planned, not rehearsed, not worked out, not announced. This is just Alex going live just for the heck of it. You guys hear the background music okay? Okay. Try to get it so you can see. So what I might do is like imagine what would somebody other than him do? Like what would Van Halen do? Well, he'd probably do something like Holdsworth would do something like this. Anyway, I'm just gonna play. That was fun. All right, that was my little warm-up. Yeah, it's Corona solos. Corona jam. Now the virus is dead. That's just warming up. I was warming up. Chuck's writing lyrics. I don't know if he is. Oh, thanks, you guys. Hey, Mike. Thank you, Victoria. Yeah, when the musicians start giving thumbs up, that's a good sign. Hey, Natalia. Yeah, I was just inspired. I was just warming up on something I'm supposed to be working on. I can't tell you what it is. You ever keep contact with Joe Satriani? Absolutely. We messaged each other. I sat in with him at the G3 last time around with Petrucci and Glenn Hughes and Phil Cohen. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and I said, so I'm supposed to be working on something. The thing I'm supposed to be working on, I think I'll do... Hey, Tom, master photographer Tom Couture. The thing I'm supposed to be working on right now, I'll get to it later, and it'll be posted in the next couple days or so. It's a video. I'm just going to say it's a video with a couple other guys, probably unexpected, but I need to work on that. So I was just warming up, and I was having a fun jam. You too, Tom. And I just thought, all right, this is fun. I should go live because this is fun. So I'm going to explain a little bit of what I'm doing, and then I'm going to take a few questions. So I have my recording set up. So I'm actually running into Logic on the computer. And over here, I don't know if you can see this, but this thing right here with all the knobs and stuff, that very scientific looking thing, that is called a Kemper. Now, I usually don't have that here, but I got an extra one. So now there's one that pretty much stays on tour, and there's one that comes with me as a backup, and it's at home. And I've been working with it for a while. I depended on my tech to know how to use it but I'm learning how to use it. And I recorded something else there's a lot of cool guest stuff that's happening all of a sudden. I'm like really busy with guest tracks all of a sudden. This other thing I think will come out very soon that I did last night. Anyway, I really liked the tone I got. So it's a Kemper, and it's based on a tone I use live for the solos with Testament. But I brought the overdrive down a little bit and added a little bit of effect. Anyway, so it's going through... you're just hearing, as a monitor, you're just hearing this little amplifier. Anyway, I like the sound. So here's the sound. All right, so it's very crunchy. It's very expressive. Anyway, so I just got inspired. I just thought, all right, you know what? I'm going to do a quick jam, and I'm going to share that with you guys. And I'm actually going to scroll through the comments right now and see who I missed and take some questions. You guys are so nice. Thank you. Watching in Tokyo. Oh, Jason. Hey. How you doing, Jason? So, Jason, I did an interview with him on his show, and that was a lot of fun. And he may have instigated one of these guest projects I'm working on that I'm not going to talk about yet. I see there's people from all over the world. What are your thoughts on George Lynch? I was a big Lynch fan. I was never a big Dokken fan. Just because, that type of music, it was considered mainstream and commercial and whatnot. Even though, the songs are good. I think they kind of got a bad rap. But yeah, I haven't listened to him for a long time, but back in the day, yeah, he was a big influence. Thank you. Before you leave, can you recommend a good book? I am reading a book called Kafka on the Shore by the Japanese writer Haruki Murakami. I'm loving it. I am almost done with that. So I'm figuring out what to read next. Although I think what I'm going to read next is this. White Noise by Don DeLillo. This one should be a pretty quick read. So that one is totally recommended. And how's Chuck? Chuck is doing better. Thank you. It's tomorrow in Australia. The album is... Thank you. People seem to like the album, which is very cool. Inspiration behind the cover. That we've had the same artist for a few years now. Eliran Kanter. He is Israeli living in Berlin. Very multinational guy, and he's done the last few albums. And he's almost like an extra band member at this point. You would have to ask him. He came up with the cover before there were titles, before there was even music. I want to draw you. Do you have some good high-res pic? I mean, there's a lot of pictures of me online. They're not hard to find. Check out the ones that I just posted today. I just posted some live pictures. Can't wait for the album. Thank you. You guys are so kind. Play good. Oh, that's very cool. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, very cool. Lots of. All right, I'm going to scroll down. I may miss some folks. The other day, I did one of these, and I'm flattered. Like so many people tune in, and I had missed some friends of mine. Charlie Hunter, great musician. I grew up with. He was on there, and I didn't even see him. So I went live on his page the next day. We actually had a good talk. Yes, Alex. Okay, so most of what I'm seeing here, not very nice comments. Are you playing the LTD or full ESP version of your signature guitar right now? This one I'm playing right now is the ESP version. The LTD is one I use live. You'll see that in a lot of pictures, including the ones that I posted earlier today. I think the LTD works great in a situation when there's other guitar going on. But when it's just me and I'm just playing, and you're just hearing my guitar and I'm just jamming along to an album, well, then I hear the difference. There's a difference in quality. But live, I do use the LTDs, and they're great. Thank you. Oh, such nice comments. Cool. So, let's see here. Just nice comments. All right, so I'm going to scroll down. I'm sorry if I miss. These obviously came in while I was playing. Do you have a neurological disorder? Not that I'm aware of. Thank you. Thank you. Right now, ESP. Yes. Are those all my guitars? Yes, these are. They all belong to me. So are they all my guitars? As in, are these all the guitars? No. These are a few of my guitars. There's a story behind each one. I will tell the stories later, because if I just take one guitar and start telling the story, it'll take a while. But what you can see, that's a vintage L5 right there, 1976, purchased in Berkeley, California. That right there is a Gibson double neck SG from the custom shop, circa 2005, I think, maybe 2004, and the acoustic right behind me is a French gypsy jazz guitar, and there's a whole bunch. Okay, let's see. Questions. I see a lot of exclamations. I guess that's good. I guess you guys like the playing. Thank you. That's very cool. Good lead tone. Thank you. What have you been up to? Thank you. So many nice compliments. Does the band have any plans to come to Singapore after the pandemic? We're supposed to be in Singapore right around now, unfortunately. So I'm sure it'll get rescheduled at some point. I wish we could go there, but I believe so. I think all the shows we were supposed to do will get rescheduled. Thank you. Is this tone for an up? Yeah, the tone is for. This is sort of my go-to guest track tone. So I've been doing a few of these, and it's a lot of fun. What do I think of Tommy Boland's guitar work in this? What can I say? I'm a huge fan, especially stuff like I think that's how that goes. Favorite Van Halen album? It's always been a tie between the first album and Fair Warning. I think Fair Warning was the one where they actually improved on all the sounds. But that first album just has magic that I think is, to this day, there's just nothing like it. If I could be in any other band, who would I be in and what would I... That's a good question. Well, I guess, because I like to improvise, it would have to be an improvisational band. Probably, and I'm not going to say one of the Grateful Dead projects, because I like those. I've grown to appreciate the Grateful Dead, but it's still pretty mellow for me. But it would probably be like a jam band, like Aquarium Rescue Unit. A great, really intense, high-intensity jam band. How do you keep from not adding your jazz influence into your Testament solos, bebop-wise, where it doesn't bother your bandmate? I've learned how to do it. I'm going to give you one quick example. There is a song called Dark Roots of Earth, and the solo for that has a blatant jazz lick, but I sneak it in, so it's not that obvious. Right? So, you see that? So that right there. That's a jazz lick. Don't tell anyone. Any guitar lesson practice books that I recommend? Well, there's so many. I'm working on one, actually, with a major publisher I'm excited about. I can't talk about it yet, but thank you so much. Oh, I just saw a really nice comment. But anyway, my guitar instruction book is going to come out. I do have courses on TrueFire, which is a platform with lots of great players are on there. Steve Vai has lessons on there. My buddy Stu Ham, Oz Noy, Mike Zito, great blues player. Oh, I should mention, speaking of guest tracks, I played on an album by Mike Zito. He did an album that's a tribute to Chuck Berry, and very well received. And it's all blues players. Robin Ford is on there. Joanna Connor, you should check her out if you don't know her. Ali Venable, this young up-and-coming player who's amazing. And this guy named Joe Bonamassa, but he's new. You guys probably haven't heard of him. Anyway, I kid. That album is a tribute to Chuck Berry by Mike Zito, and that's a lot of fun. So that was a guest track I played on, and I'm losing my train of thought because there's so much feedback coming in. Wow, this is so cool. Somebody was asking me about of these songs. Oh, you were asking about the Code of Hammurabi. Yes, that's one. I did a demo of that song, and the guys ended up liking it. And I actually, oh, thank you, Curse of Osiris and Code of Hammurabi. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I actually really like both of those songs too, and I like the unusual stuff. Both of those are different than, it's not. They wouldn't be considered typical Testament songs. They won't be singles, but they're different. And Code of Hammurabi, I actually wrote that on bass, and I think it was good because I was forced to look at note choices and not really get too caught up in the playing of the guitar. It was just simple composition. And it ended up being a bass-heavy tune. You'll notice when you hear that song, it starts with the bass, and it's got some bass breakdowns and stuff. But cool, I'm glad that song's being well received. Comment about your series was not a dig. You inspired me. Oh, thank you. No dig intended. Oh, and thank you for reminding me. That's what I was talking about. I lost my train of thought. Instruction. True Fire. It's a really great instruction platform. My buddy Mike Zito that I was talking about. He has a blues instruction course. Osnoy, Steve Vai, Robin Ford, like way more people than I can name are on this. So you sign up, and then you get a membership, and then you have access to all these lessons. So I recommend that. But this was all in response to an earlier question about music instruction and what are my favorite books. I grew up with a book called The Advancing Guitarist by Mick Goodrick, who's like a legendary teacher at Berklee College of Music. So I highly recommend that. Please mention me. I love you. It would be an honor. Okay. Your name is Slayer? Any news on the shows? And there's no news on shows, guys. I'm sorry. I believe, like every other show that got canceled because of this whole thing, it'll all be attempted to be rescheduled. Killer Guitar, we need more left-handed models. I am sorry. Take that up with ESP. In fact, I have an interview with ESP. There's a little project we're doing together. So keep your eye out on the ESP website. But I will mention that to them. There are left-handed people. So somebody saw Testament at the Berkeley Square. Wow, that's a long, long time ago. Let's see. Greetings. Bourbon or whiskey? I'm a little partial to bourbon, but high quality, whatever it is. If it's cheap whiskey or bourbon, I just won't drink. I'll drink coffee. But good quality bourbon, yes. Do I have a favorite beer? Gosh, I have a few. I'm a little more of a wine guy these days, but Founders from Michigan is one of my favorites, especially when you go there. And then, of course, Guinness, but it's got to be in Ireland. And I just had some last month in Ireland, and it was a dream. It was phenomenal. Favorite go-to guitar, if I can only have... God, that's a really tough question because, as you can see, there are a few. Let's see. It would probably be... well, you know this guitar, and the version of this that is kind of blonde sunburst. I tend to pick that one up quite a bit. Okay, man, you guys are so nice. I'm totally flattered. Favorite Bay Area venue to play? You know, it's very sad. I used to like Slim's a lot, and they just closed down. But I think if it's a big venue, I think like the Fox in Oakland, and if it's for my trio, Yoshi's, where we played last time around, and where I grew up seeing jazz shows. Now somebody did some favorite Van Halen. I think I answered that one. Let's see. How did you come up with new ideas? Oh, that's an interesting question. New ideas, gosh. You know, it really depends. I mean, what I sometimes try to do is I sometimes take existing ideas and I try to change them around. You know, to give you an example, I can't think of any good examples off the top of my head, but I will get that answer together and work on it because it's a fun topic, and I could just go down a total rabbit hole doing that. Drop tuning, just now, no. All the stuff on the New Testament album is tuned down a half step, and there are a couple songs tuned down to C sharp. But often when I play at home, unless I'm making a demo with that, I tend to play in standard tuning. Or if I'm playing along with somebody who's tuned down, like Stevie Ray or somebody. Could you play Eyes of Wrath? Well, I'm not taking requests on these things. I am thinking of I am actually going to do this. I'm going to set up a platform where I can take requests, and it's going to be well organized, and it's going to be exclusive and reasonable. But you know, I get way more requests than I can handle. Thank you. Man, all right. So I'm trying to scroll through. You guys are so kind. These are mostly statements. You and Warren Haynes are my favorite. Wow, that's great company. I have jammed with Warren. It was acoustic. It's very funny with great blues players. I jammed on a radio station in Rochester with Warren Haynes, and I've played with Bonamassa at NAMM, but in both cases we were playing acoustics. The stuff with Bonamassa was on video, and it's on YouTube. It actually came out really cool. But yeah, I need to play with both those guys electric. Hopefully soon. I am playing more blues, and I actually have some stuff at some point that may see the light of day. Favorite blues player? Gosh, it's really tough. I mean, you know, if we're talking like traditional blues players, B.B. King was always my guy. Live at the Cook County Jail, and I can listen to that record, or Live and Well, and never get tired of it. My comments about a series guitars was, this guy keeps apologizing. Are you the same guy that apologized earlier? guys, there's nothing to apologize for. It's very funny. I appreciate it, but sometimes people say, I'm really sorry about what I said. I go, what did you say? It's fine, dude. Trust me, whatever it is. Buddy Guy. Love Buddy Guy. Damn right, I got the blues. One of my favorite recordings of Buddy Guy is him with BB King and Friends. Thank you. Wow, there's so many, you guys. I'm gonna scroll down a little because I see ones that I answered earlier, and then I scrolled up. Loved seeing you and MA do Sabbath at Brooklyn. That was a lot of fun, and that was an excuse. We're talking about guitars earlier. I have a couple other SGs. I have a '68 SG, and that Black Sabbath tribute gig was my excuse to bring that guitar in to Matt Umanov, who's one of the great guitar repair guys. He works on Clapton's guitars, and just get it all fixed up. And one of these days I will bust that guitar out and do some playing on it. It's in the case. All right. Greetings from Chile. Are we going to Australia after? That's where we were supposed to be most of this month, actually, and that I'm sure that will happen sooner than later. I love Costa Rica. Scott Henderson versus Frank Gabali. They're both incredible. Scott Henderson, for me, I'm just being honest. He's just been more of an influence, and I like a lot of his music. Gambale, I like some of his music. I like him better with other people, like his work with Chick Corea. And it's not like I dislike his music. It's just he does some stuff that it's just more like light jazz that you could hear on smooth FM radio type stuff. And that's not my kind of jazz. Whereas like Scott's stuff, it'll never get played on like commercial jazz radio, but it's awesome and it's bluesy, and he is this. I'm talking about Scott Henderson. If you missed it, he is one of my all-time favorites. Wow. Okay, a lot more questions. Heard the new album. Cool. You like it? Very nice work. What song is a favorite? God, there's quite a few. I think the song. I like the song "World War III" a lot, and I think "Code of Hammurabi," which we were talking about earlier. I'm not saying that just because it's my song, but I think it's really different for Testament, and it really features our bassist Steve DiGiorgio. We got this bass player that can really play like all over the place. He's got great chops, and I was thinking, man, let's feature the bass. So, Code of Hammurabi. Let's see. Okay. Pat Martino, love Pat Martino. Feelings on Yngwie. Another guest track that I actually recorded this a couple years ago. I bring this up because I was instructed to channel Yngwie, which is the song is. It's about Vikings, and it's by comedian Brian Posehn. His new album just came out. I think I recorded that like 2 years ago or so. And I went through an Yngwie phase when I was younger, and I have great appreciation for it. I mean, he was the first guy to do that style, like neoclassical, that fast and that tight. I kind of outgrew the music a little bit. I'm sorry, and does that make me elitist or something? Maybe, I don't know. I really liked it when I was younger. I still like to hear it for nostalgia. But it's it's great. It's one thing, and I generally tend to listen to artists guitar players that have little more dimension. But you know what? Then again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's almost like AC/DC. You don't expect an AC/DC album to sound any different than they sound. And I think Yngwie is like that with guitar. And obviously it's incredibly technically challenging. And every now and then I'll hear him and I forget, oh man, I should go back and brush up on some of this Yngwie stuff. Is Pat Metheny an influence? Very, very much. Massive, massive influence. Now he's somebody who just his most recent albums are as exciting as the albums he did the last decade, which are as exciting as the albums he did before that. And they don't sound the same. They don't, do you like Manchester? I do. I actually had a nice walk around Manchester. And Manchester was one of the best shows of this last tour. It was the biggest, and it was sold out, and it was really cool. And it was right before all hell started breaking loose. Okay, here's an interesting question. Alex, I primarily study classical guitar, but want to study more jazz fusion. I can read sheet music. Okay, great. Are there any jazz books you would recommend? Well, I mentioned one called The Advancing Guitarist. And there may be one that I'm working on that will be out within a year, I predict. You told me that you were planning a collaboration with Prasanna. Yes. We've been planning it. In fact, right before all this craziness, we had an appointment to meet up and discuss a collaboration. So it's temporarily on hold, but we're still in touch. What was the 70s album you played along with the other day? Okay, so the last time I was on here, I played along with an album called, I can't even remember the title, but the artist was Idris Muhammad. The Power of Soul is the album, from 1974, with a guitarist named Joe Beck. That's some really, really fun music. And somebody was asking me, how do I come up with ideas for composition? Well, there's a good example. I dug that song. I want a song like that. I don't want to copy it. I don't want to cover it. But I think at some point I'm going to look at doing sort of my version of that. I'm just talking about composition and borrowing. Just reminds me of this one idea. Like sometimes I'll hear popular songs, and it feels pretty obvious to me where, hey, Dave T, you played that what did I play when we jammed? The song that I was just playing. That's probably right. Yeah. Dave Tweedy's a buddy of mine, and we jam sometimes with him and Victoria, and they're like a musical couple. They jam live every day. So I'm trying to. You guys are pushing me. I got to do more of this. We jammed on all kinds of stuff. We did all kinds of like 70s stuff. Jeff Beck, Billy Cobham, all the cool stuff. So just talking about composition. Like here's an example. Like here's a popular song where I don't know that this is how the song was written, but it just kind of occurred to me. Let's see. Okay, so take the Beatles song, Lady Madonna, right? da 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 da. Right, everybody knows that, right? Okay, so what's the melody of that? Ba ba. Okay, it's a major melody, right? Ba da 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 da. And it kind of becomes minor for a second. Bo ba bo. Right? Now, what if you took that da 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 da, and you see this is a it's basically a triad. Ba 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 ba. So go to the next note of the triad, which is the fifth, right? So triad is doo da dee da da. Okay, so now what if I do the melody? If you were to harmonize that melody, da 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 da, it would be da 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 da, right? From the fifth. Da 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 da, da da. So da 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 da, da 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 da, right? So now, what if you make that, instead of major, make that minor? Ba da 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 da, da 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 da, right? So you see where I'm going with this. So now I'm this melody. Ba da na na na. Alter it a little bit. Na 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 na. Right? It's Adele, and I hear stuff like that all the time. I don't know that that's where they got it from. I don't know if it's a conscious thing, but I know I'm not exactly playing it right. But I hear stuff like that all the time. So, and it's fun to talk about that. I'm actually gonna talk about that more in some future chats that I'm going to arrange. Who's your favorite drummer right now? God, that's tough. I mean, you know, it depends on genre. A few years ago, I played at the Warwick Bass Camp, and it was kind of an amazing experience because it was all bass players except for myself on guitar and Dennis Chambers on the drums. And it was just a week of like working on hands-on with bassists, from Alfonso Johnson to Stu, my buddy, Setsuro Sakurai from Japan, Steve Bailey, just like all unbelievable bassists. I'm playing with him. So that just floored me. So yeah, I mean, and he's always been one of my favorites too. Let's see. Do you like Death? I do. Sound of Perseverance is amazing. I actually played with the tribute to Death, Death to All, and that was a lot of fun. Somebody says your opinions matter. Well, thank you. Not everybody thinks that, but I can't help myself. Part of my problem is I have to be honest. I don't think I could ever have like a regular job where I work in an office and I have to smile at the boss or be like in customer service. You know, I'm just very honest, and I can't hold back sometimes. But a lot of folks agree. I think more folks agree with me than not. When you get to tour again, hopefully you can make it to Minneapolis. I hope so too. Favorite type of wood for the guitars? Oh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I think mahogany, just for tone. I mean, I'm a big fan of the classic Les Paul. And a lot of my favorite players play pretty simply, it's more about tone. Gary Moore, for example, right? It was just solid guitar playing, not dependent on effects. Not that there's anything wrong with effects. I use effects. But yeah, I'm a big fan of mahogany. I like, for acoustic guitars, I like spruce tops. And but yeah, generally mahogany. Why doesn't Testament play Sins of Omission? Well, I've tried. You're going to have to talk to somebody else about that. Who knew 25 years ago when listening to Testament, I can't believe Testament was around 25 years ago, but yes. We'd be hanging out in Alex's living room. Yes, yeah. It's a cool thing, right? And it's fun. I've had fun like seeing these videos from like Brian May in his living room all the time. It's awesome. Top 3 places to play in the world. Japan is always great. It's always a blast. Chile, got to give it up. I don't know if anybody here is here from Chile, but you guys are insane. They sing the riffs. They sing everything. And then Argentina's a close second. And then I love playing in Italy. I was very sorry that our Italian show got canceled last month. That was the first one to get canceled. But Italy is amazing. Was it true that you are down to work with Billie Eilish? Oh, I stick up for her. I think as far as pop stars go, I think she's super talented. And yeah, of course, I don't think she doesn't need to work with me. She's doing just fine. But there are other mega stars that you kind of wonder why. Okay, why? And if you hear them without their machinery, and it just doesn't work. But she's great. I mean, she does those live performances, especially the slow song. Is that The Party's Over or whatever? To do that on live TV is amazing, and I've seen her do it a few times. And yeah. All right, I'm going to take a few more. As I said at the beginning of this, I have to get to work. I have work I'm supposed to be doing. It's very cool. I mean, I've been getting hit up for projects by musicians that I like working with. Is there any way to get tabs of Goodbye to Romance or any of my jazz? Not yet. That is something that needs to happen. I totally agree with that. Are you vegan? You look super young. That's an interesting question, and I have a lot of vegan friends. I guess I'm a failed vegan. The way I look at it, I lean green. My part of my situation is I have to eat, and when you are on tour, I don't know if it's like a blood sugar or a metabolism thing, but if I don't eat first, I can't function. And as soon as I get hungry, I have to eat. And there are times on tour that you can't have a purity test. I think it's getting better. It's getting easier to eat more plant-based. Excuse me. I want to be more plant-based. And actually, since I've been home, you could say, yeah. But yeah, I've never done the commitment thing, but I've got some people very close to me that are vegans. I have much respect for, and I believe in it. I believe in the cause. Especially with animals, because I love animals. I have a hard time to say, okay, I am, never going to eat any product that came from an animal. I think if at some point, I think so. And I think we're going to have to get to that point. But, which is a long way of saying, No, but you might, if you watched me eat, you might think so, and it certainly helps. The lean green, which is what I consider my diet, that and exercise, and just I never liked to get trashed. I like my bourbon. I like to sip it. I like having a Guinness or two. But yeah, just the whole the type of abuse that you see on, especially in music, just never interested me. So I think it's definitely helped me stay young. But thank you. I am flattered. And all right, I think I'm almost got to the bottom. I know I've missed some questions, but I've almost got to the bottom. This is fun. I was not even going to be on this long. So let's see. Best pizza of New York. Best. I think so. Who is your favorite musician? My favorite musician. I mean, it's hard to say. There's so many different types of musicians. Believe it or not, the one I probably listen to the most is Johann Sebastian Bach, who's not even around anymore. But I like to listen to music that helps me turn off my brain. In fact, even a lot of my favorite artists, I'm selective about when I listen to them. Because if I put on John Scofield or Pat Metheny, well, my brain is going to start going crazy. I'm going to want to pick up the guitar. Same thing with a lot of heavy music too. That's why I don't listen to it that much. But anyway, I heard about you from Joe Satriani's interviews, saw one of your solos, and was like, oh, thank you so much. That's very cool. I had somebody the other day who found me on That Metal Show. That's not on the air anymore, but it was airing, I don't know, like 7 years ago or so. And I went through a period where I was in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And there's people who found me that way. And people always apologize to me for... I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Testament. It's fine. It's fine. In fact, it's actually, you don't have to know me just from the band that most people know me for. So that's very cool to hear that. And it's, I have this fun group of people that, it's not all the same. Not everybody comes to me the same way, but I'm just glad to have you guys here. It's super, super cool. Again, this was totally spontaneous. I just felt like sharing my warm-up with you guys and asking some questions, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know when I'll probably do. I'm going to try to do one of these a week. I'm not going to make any commitments because I don't know what's going to happen. You guys are too kind. Thank you. I see there's 50 seconds remaining here. So I'm going to let it run out. I'm going to run out the clock. I'm going to say good night. Everybody be safe. New album is out tomorrow. Titans of Creation. Check it out. So far, the people that got it tonight, so it arrived for some people tonight, they seem very happy. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff happening. Hey, Living Color is on here. Yes! Love Living Color. That's another fun thing about this. Like, it's such a cool variety of people. And anyway, this has been great. We're going to do more. Be safe, everybody. And I'll see you soon.